Evening, guys. How you doing? I'm Yalik, and I haven't done one of these videos in a while, but wanted to do a task force video, and this is my 5-man. We have been doing okay for ourselves. Yesterday we hit number 29 in the world. You might remember that we were called the DTs before the mandatory name change by Supercell, because DT stood for something risque. So we've been at this for about 3 months, 96 operations. Have really been hammering it lately. Operation in progress. I mean, we're already 535 in, and hopefully I can down that Manticore, and that'll keep us. This will actually be our worst day in, as you can see, quite a while. Activity log, I already been looking through replays, can't even see the replays past here, but the last 5 days, working dead end as a 5-man, which is pretty intense in and of itself. We do have the advantage of a Zooka Tribe right now, so sure, that is definitely helping us down these bases. On the other hand, everyone else has this advantage too, and actually my experience in my 5-man and my 10-man has been the same. We're rising in both places, so I feel like we must be doing something right. But for a 5-man, these scores, 1131, that is, by the way, that's the first time that we've broken 1100. I think we might have broken 1000 once before, but yeah, 1131, that's righteous. 976, 941, 952, and today I think we'll be looking at, well, we would still break 800 if I can finish that Manticore. Cross your fingers there. But we've been rocking it. Had a couple of roster changes when we started the task force. The task force was actually started, well, the DTs anyway, by Admiral Nutty. He eventually felt like the powder and the time required was a bit, you know, it was an imposition, I guess. So he's still around, but he stepped out. He was replaced by Andy for a bit. Andy was Sven's friend. They were on a UK leaderboard, 10-man together, I believe. Same thing with Andy. After a while, it's the time and the pressure, and you know, it just, the energy. It consumes a lot of energy to, you know, even just to generate the intel to be able to do these hits for a couple minutes every day. So Andy took a break, and when I say took a break, I mean he needed a break from the game, not just from the pushing, but from the game, which, you know, I get. So recently we had Nobody step in. Nobody shares our 10-man task force, which I don't talk about it very much because it is a 9-family task force. Where are you? I think we, oh, there we are. Okay, never mind. Higher than I thought. You can see that Nobody is here. Sven is over here as Rogue Warrior, and then I'm up over there. So Nobody comes to us from that task force, so some pretty serious credentials there, which has really helped us put the foot on the accelerator, so to speak, in this last week, crushing it. So first hit I want to show is Nobody's, and if I can find it, there it is. Yeah, we have a Manticore guy now, because that's not something we've had before. Again, crossing my fingers about this Manticore off to the right. So here we have another 262 Manticore from a few days ago, and he crushed it. So what do we have here? Building health. So this is a 1.6 million health Manticore. Not the full ring of rockets. That is helpful, but I mean, otherwise your problems are basically the same as any other Manticore. So yeah, grabs a little extra GBE. He is going to use the corner flare all the way to the back of the base, and that's going to make his girls walk in this tiny little path right here. You'll notice they're in a skinny line coming through those boom cannons. That makes things very easy to smoke. So he gets himself very nicely set up into position, And here's always the fun part. So he's got his critters going and 4 shocks. Actually, I think he uses a 5th shock. Yeah, he gets the rockets up here, which I wouldn't have expected, but then it's a good play because he just has to worry about the critters over to this one side and the rockets over there, just 2 rockets, and those critters will last a bit longer. So probably worth it in terms of GBE, and obviously worth it in terms of the base being down. Nice amount of, wow, what was the losses on that? Yeah, can we actually see that? Thanks. Yeah, so he still had half his girls there. So next hit, we have somewhere, there's a Sven on a Callisto. Where did that go? And I thought that was alright. Callisto is always a fun base anyway. There it is. And this is kind of non-standard because he went with bullet instead of brick. You go with brick for battle orders and the extra damage. In this case, you have 5 shocks doing the usual wrap. 1, 2, 3. I take it back. 4 shocks. 4 shocks. I guess he decided that he didn't want to bother with the flamethrowers, so his solution for that was to bring bullet. Grabbing himself some extra GBE because he likes to do that. I can't say I blame him. Probably the best hit that I've done in the last week you're not going to see because it's a Titanic solo from earlier this afternoon, but I already have another video done of that, so I'm not going to be showing it twice. But I'm a 5-5 account, and so that Titanic, I had done the GPE calculations this morning for the hit that I needed to do, and I start with I think 165 GBE fully boosted, and the hit was calling for 155. So that's fairly tight, and yeah, it doesn't leave a lot of room for mistakes. So having that extra GBE when you can get it, always a good thing. So here's where the fun starts on Callisto. So he's got himself into the position where he's going to start to wrap. So he's going to flare that crevice between the flamethrower and boom cannon there. 2 smokes is kill zone, and then he's going to flare to the flamethrower. So his girls will wrap around the boom cannons. Usually those are mortars, in this case boom cannons. Bullet, taunt, and then 3 shocks. He actually throws a 4th onto the boom cannons. Probably not really needed there. 2 more shocks. And amazingly, so the health on this, 748, pretty healthy. 1.7 or something like that, 1.7 million. But with the Zooka damage tribe that we happen to have right now, you can see that bullet took his beating from the flamethrowers there. Jeez. With the Zooka damage tribe that we have going right now, you can do damage like that without battle orders. So I suppose if it makes your life easier, sure, why not? I'm going to show for me and Rogue. I'm actually going to show a joint hit. This was not terrible. It was just, since we've been doing a higher end op. Like I said, I'm a 5-5, and this Waterloo was pretty hefty. Yeah, it was the 298 base, pretty hefty, and here was the issue. Needed to have 1 shock, 2 shocks, 3 shocks. No, 1 shock, 2 shocks, 3 shocks, 4 shocks, and a critter here. The critter is for these mortars. So, critter and shock, 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 shock. Preferably getting that mortar too, which I probably missed. But anyway, as I said, I am a 5-5. Considered using critters over here to grab up a bunch of GBE. You need the critters because the sniper towers will be taking your girls, so you want something to distract them so you're not losing your damage later on in your attack. But if you're going to throw critters out, you're going to spend 8 GBE, which means you need to get that GBE back first thing. So the first 3 cells or whatever that you destroy are just getting your GBE back on the critters, And then, like I said, I'm going to want critters later in this attack. So now I need the GBE for those critters as well. I mean, I could have gotten GBE over here, but I decided like it wasn't even going to be worth it. The amount of GBE that I could take was more or less not even going to net out because of the critter use required for the hit. Did grab a little bit of extra GBE over here, however, because it was free. Oh, that was some mine clearance up there. And now we're going to begin the walk. So the problem with this base was this right here. That is building health 1,069%. So 2.1 million or something like that. 2.2 million. It's a fair amount of health there. That's a... I mean, as for me, I wish I could have one smoked the kill zone here. That would have been great. Didn't. That might have been the difference. Got my critter out, 3 shocks, and I just don't have the GBE for the 4th shock. So I think I throw a med kit down and pray, trying to do as much damage as possible so that someone can finish this after me for sure. Probably got about 2/3 of the health off that. So again, if you're starting from like 2.2 million, not too shabby. 1.4 million-ish, something like that. So Lego had to come in, or Rogue. He is both. He is Rogue, he is Lego. Those are his different his different accounts. Whichever. Anyway, so he has to come in and clean up my mess, which he does with his usual twist. I mean, something about his lines when he's walking, they're always a little off. And I'm always saying to myself when I watch his hits that if I tried the stuff he tries, I would just get smoked in an instant. And, you know, it works out for him, as you can see here. Got away, I think, with the 1 less smoke than I did there, which yeah, it makes a difference. But now he's got tons of GBE for his shocks, and he gets all 5 down. Or excuse me, all 4 down. Didn't bother with the critters. And finishes that off nicely. Very important that that went down because it was the 2-9 base on that op, or 2-9-8 base on that operation. So you really want to get those points. Oh, hey, Boomtown today. I missed that. Fun. Anyway, so we've been working hard, and it's been paying off. Wish me luck on this Manticore, but that's probably not until tomorrow. I'll have all night to sit and think about it, which that never goes well. Anyway, we've been doing work. Just wanted to congratulate my guys for all of the effort that goes into this, because it really is a lot of effort. Keeping up with the intel and everything, and then planning the hits and executing the hits and doing them. And, you know, I mean, it's just a game, but you still put a lot of pressure on yourself to succeed, because, I mean, obviously we care. There's an art to doing this, and it's not something that you just do casually. I think if you're really putting in, you know, well, this kind of time. Are we on this, actually, at this? Oh, there we are. Yeah, okay, 39, yeah. I think we covered that. Anyway, like, if you're putting in this kind of time to be here, obviously it matters to you. So really the biggest pressure is the pressure you put on yourself. And there's probably some Freudian bullshit that you could pull out of that, too, but I've got no time for it, and it's late. So anyway, congratulations to my guys. I'm out. I'll catch you later. Have a great night.